Women, and they have a deeper sense. They just do. They just do. They have a deeper sense, deeper caring, deeper understanding. Don't get me wrong. There's guys that are really sensitive and they really care and they have tremendous compassion. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the majority out there. You might be a really special guy, like a really special guy. And, you know, and it's a whole nother thing. So just don't get me wrong there. And you might be a guy or you have a woman's soul inside of you, and that's how it happened. What happened was, you know, your soul was supposed to go into another mom, you know, during pregnancy or during birth, and your soul was traveling down, and it was beelined. It was derailed. And so here you are, you're a woman's soul, and you're traveling down, you're heading down, and you're supposed to go into this mom that supposed to have a daughter, right? And then all of a sudden, something goes wrong. Something happens with that mom. There's some kind of complication. Maybe the mom had a big blood draw and then the baby dies. And there's a miscarriage. So now, God's like, holy crap, what do we do? There's just saying. And God's like, and then your soul's down here, and your soul was supposed to go into this mom with a daughter, or your soul is supposed to go into moms with a daughter, and you're a female, or you're a male soul, and your male soul is supposed to go into, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's beeline. It's beeline. So now you're a woman's soul in a boy, in another womb, in a mom, because in that moment, in that area, the soul came down. The soul didn't have the capacity, and Spirit of Compassion always told me this, didn't have the capacity to travel all around the planet looking for, so it had to go to the nearest, because it's about a strength and vitality of the soul in the moment coming down. And that soul then ends up, you know, a woman's soul ends up in a man's body. That happens too. I mean, you know, there's no science based about it, whatever, but it's, you know, Spirit of Compassion has always told me this. Same can go with, you know, a male soul that's heading down and something tragic happens, and maybe the mom got a medical treatment and the baby dies in the womb. And now you got this man's soul all of a sudden beelining, and God's like, oh my God. God's saying, oh my God. I just think that's funny, that part. God says, oh my God. And then that soul's looking now and ends up in a mom and in her daughter, right? And now the daughter has a man's soul in her. Do you see how it works? This happens all the time. And I just think that people don't get that and people don't understand that, because there's so much bullshit about so many things out there. But these are things that happen that are just, you know, you can't measure it, can't explain it. But, you know, Spirit of Compassion has always told me that things happen when women are pregnant and miscarriages occur because of medical treatments or because of a blood draw. Blood draw creates so many miscarriages. Probably the majority of all miscarriages are caused from blood draw. 5 vials, 6 vials, 7 vials, once a month, once a trimester. Because you're not supposed to draw blood from a mommy with the baby in the womb. You're not supposed to do that, because you give the baby hemorrhagic shock. You kill the baby. And that's where all the miscarriages mostly come from. They come from and then medical science tries to say, oh no, it's because of this chromosomes, because of that, because of this, because whatever, they just try to come up with all their bullshit. But really it was the blood draw that did it. The blood draw did it, you know? Viruses cause problems too and other things like that, but the blood draw is a big one. It's probably is responsible for the majority of all miscarriages. It's from blood being drawn. So when a blood draw goes wrong, because it does all the time, too much blood, baby dies, then you have the soul that was coming down to the baby, the first trimester, was heading down, and it was this female soul, and it was supposed to go into a female baby. The female baby dies in the first trimester, and then the soul gets beelined, because the soul can't make the trip back. The soul was meant to come in there, and it goes right into another mom, and that mom could be having a baby boy now with a female soul. Never know what you're going to get at the medical medium. The medical medium lives. You just don't know. So I'm sure you guys are aware of the planets aligning and how rare it really is and how incredible everything about it is. It makes you think and wonder too. I was asking questions of Spirit of Compassion and getting some pretty intense answers. One is how it shifts the travel time of a soul when a soul is entering into the solar system to be entering into the womb. And when I think about that, I'm like just blown away. And I asked Spirit, how does that work? What do you mean? And SOC said that the travel time is different. And the soul could even travel past all the planets while they're aligned in the solar system before the soul enters the atmosphere to Earth and then enters into the womb. And so I asked Spirit, well, how does that work if the planets are all aligned? One way it works, if the soul is entering into the solar system, it could enter into the solar system into an area where there's no planets, because all the planets are all bunched together in a parade, in a line, in alignment. And so the soul's just coming through with no planets in the way. Usually when the souls come, they're dodging planets. And so they're going in between planets, because any given time a planet could be here and a planet could be there in the solar system. And the soul is kind of dodging and interweaving between the planets. In this situation, a soul doesn't have to do that. So everything that our soul goes through, even early before the womb, is like documented. It's in the essence of the soul. It's in the core of the soul. It's information. So any souls entering the atmosphere right now, entering into the womb, will have this information that they're going to take with them throughout their life. So then they're born, and then they have this secret-like information that's instilled in them from the journey traveling right now. And that alone just blew my mind. I mean, I could talk about that for a long time. I got a lot of information from Spirit of Compassion all about that. No, I know that was really like alarming information, but it doesn't mean, listen, it doesn't mean when a soul was beelined into another body that there was another soul there and it kicked that soul out. That's not how it worked. That other soul didn't come there yet. So you have to know that. But it's still meant to be no matter what. It's still meant to be. And the timing is still meant to be. And it's supposed to happen. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's supposed to happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but it just happens because down here on planet Earth, there's a lot of, terrible things that occur. And the medical system hides it all, and the industry hides it all, and the podcast doctors don't know. And all the chiropractors rich chiropractors, their mommy and daddies paid for their school, and they never practiced a day in their life, and now they're selling programs and stuff. They don't know. It's they don't know. The industry doesn't know. That's important to know. And it's not, you have to understand something. It's not God making a mistake. That's not how it works. It's about free will, and it's about mistakes here on planet Earth. It's about a mom not being educated enough and using her free will enough to say, don't take so much blood while I'm pregnant. That's not God making a mistake. That's the devil, if you want to say. If you will. If you will. Like, if I will what? I hear when people say that. It's like the devil, if you will, getting in the way down here and making a mom get 12 vials of blood extracted from her while she's pregnant in her first trimester. It is sickening. Sickening. That's dark. Let's bloodlet mom so that a baby can't stand a chance A fetus can't stand a chance. Do you guys understand what this is? Like what that is? That's not God. God's doing God's job. Anyway, I think this deserves, Lord, I think this deserves another shot.
So does a person's soul, before it reincarnates on the earth, does it choose to be gay or straight?
So it's a really good point. I think what's happened right now with gender and everything else, I think that there's so much confusion still. I think we're in the baby stages of the world understanding any of it. Kind of breaks my heart.
Yeah.
A lot of confusion, a lot of misconceptions, and I never got to into a place yet where I've been able to talk about it. I've been doing all these other things, but whether anybody likes it or not, a soul can come into a different gender body and be a different gender soul, and then that happens. I mean, there's so many things.
And what about like same-sex attraction? Would that be a soul decision before they reincarnate?
Yeah, absolutely it can. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Is that a couple of answers?
Yes, I
a couple.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.